Something seismic is unfolding inside the Labour Party right now. After months of pressure, leaks, and internal panic, Keir Starmer may be about to carry out one of his most shocking U-turns yet. It's a move that is already dividing his own MPs, sparking outrage among voters and raising serious questions about what Labour really stands for. But this time, it's not just about taxes or benefits or even immigration. It goes far deeper. Something that could change the way free speech works in Britain forever. The Labour government might be heading straight for yet another dramatic reversal. And this time, the battleground isn't policy on heat payments or welfare cuts. It's the question of how far the state will go in regulating speech. After months of pressure, leaks from Whitehall now suggest that senior ministers are quietly backing away from Labour's so-called Islamophobia law. A piece of legislation that critics say could amount to bringing blasphemy laws in through the back door. Yes, Britain, a country built on free speech, was about to introduce a law that many feared would criminalize criticism of religion. And now the panic has set in inside Number 10. According to The National, key Labour figures have begun pulling support from the proposal, including Starmer's right-hand man, Morgan McSweeney, who is said to be vehemently opposed to pushing it forward. Sources close to Downing Street told reporters, it's not that it's been watered down, it's that they're completely changing it. The approach has been toughened up because we're not going to create a blasphemy law, which the government believes is fundamentally wrong. The Telegraph +2 Middle East Forum +2 This all follows the plan initially championed by Angela Rayner when she was in Starmer's inner circle. Her idea was to bring in a legal definition of Islamophobia that would make anti-Muslim hatred a specific crime under UK law, justified by the reported rise in hate crimes against Muslims, over 3,000 incidents in 2024 alone by one estimate. But now that argument isn't cutting it. Even inside Labour, there are growing fears the definition could be weaponized to shut down debate, silence criticism of radical ideology, and ultimately create a de facto blasphemy law. During a discussion on GB News, Fiaz Mughal, founder of the charity Faith Matters, said there's a serious divide within Labour. He said, it was clear Angela Rayner was okay with such a definition going through. Steve Reed is not, and I think there is going to be a split. We need to mobilize against this definition because it will criminalize a whole range of people, and we don't need more criminalization in this country. The laws are sufficient enough. Middle East Forum +1 Now Labour MPs are fighting among themselves, not over how to defend free speech, but over how far they can go to protect their ideological allies. At the Labour conference in Liverpool earlier this month, Communities Minister Steve Reed practically confirmed what many already suspected. A U-turn is in motion. He told attendees, paramount in my mind would be the need to protect free speech. That must come first. We won't allow the introduction of blasphemy laws by the back door. That's a dramatic shift from the tone Labour adopted just months ago. This is the government admitting quietly that Britain doesn't need new speech laws. It needs to start enforcing the ones we already have. But this latest reversal isn't just another policy tweak. It is part of a pattern. Because if you've been keeping track, Labour has been flipping on major policies since the very start of the year. In January, Starmer's government made a humiliating climb down over winter fuel payments after furious backlash from pensioners across the country. By June, Labour caved again, this time on their refusal to hold a national inquiry into grooming gangs. Public outrage forced them to reverse course. And in July, they performed yet another U-turn. This one over welfare cuts after campaigners and even Labour MPs revolted. And now here we are looking down the barrel of a fourth major U-turn in less than a year. Each one tells the same story. A government that is reactive, terrified of backlash, and utterly incapable of standing on principle. Political commentator Eve McQuillan summed it up perfectly on GB News. She said it may not cause a rupture in Labour, but for some MPs, this looks like Labour moving against its moral principles, especially on anti-discrimination. Translation. Even within Labour's own ranks, people are beginning to question what the party actually stands for, and that's the real story here. Not just another U-turn, but a government with no consistent vision. One moment, Labour panders to far-left activists pushing identity politics. The next, they panic when the public pushes back. So yes, Starmer may soon announce that the Islamophobia law is off the table. But let's not pretend it's because of conviction or principle. It's because they got caught. Because ordinary Britons, journalists, commentators, and the public called it out for what it was. An attempt to bring censorship and religious privilege into British law. And that's why this latest U-turn matters. Because it proves once again that when the people push back, even this captured, confused government has to listen. In other news, Nigel Farage has launched a blistering attack on Labour's plans for a digital ID system, describing the proposals as sinister and warning they could mark a dangerous shift in how the state interacts with its citizens. Speaking on his GB News program, the Reform UK leader expressed alarm at what he sees as a growing government appetite for surveillance and control, urging the public to remain deeply skeptical of the true intentions behind the initiative. This is very significant. Do not believe a single word that Starmer says. Farage told viewers, accusing the Labour government of expanding the scope of the scheme under the guise of administrative reform. The cat is out of the bag, he said, pointing to remarks by Labour's Work and Pensions Secretary Liz Kendall, who recently defended the proposals in the House of Commons. It's about more than replacing numerous bits of paper, she argued. It's about modernizing the relationship between citizens and the state. About greater security and actually greater control over your own data. But for Farage, Kendall's remarks revealed something much darker about the true intent of the policy. It's about changing the way the state interacts with its citizens. I find that sinister, he warned. The veteran broadcaster and politician was joined by former Brexit Secretary Sir David Davis, who echoed Farage's concerns and suggested the digital ID proposals form part of a broader pattern of creeping state surveillance. Remember the drone surveillance? They took your bank account away. You know why? Because they wouldn't tell you, would they? That was the point. Farage noted his own experience of being targeted by authorities. But in the end, I got the information and I won. Can we win this battle now? His question underlines what he sees as a critical public test, a defining moment in the fight between individual freedom and growing bureaucratic oversight. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comments section below. If you've not yet already, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you. Take care. Goodbye.